The sky is on fire this morning. Good morning. So I'm taking a chance, as I posted there on the WhatsApp announcement, to start with Facebook this early, and which will be on the YouTube afterwards. So hello to all the YouTube people. I forget to say hello to you YouTubers. You're a growing constituency. You are following with more interest, and I'm thrilled. And so here we are. So the sky, the next time, God willing, that I'll do this little experiment, I think I'll start a bit earlier, because the advantage of taking in these skies with Instagram is we do a short Instagram post, and this is a short-lived phenomenon. So then I'm just going to ask our YouTube and Facebook people to be patient then when these colors quickly fade, and we'll be waiting for sunrise. But also today then the Instagrammers will get an earlier sunrise moment, because usually it's a little bit up in the sky by the time we hook in with Instagram. So it's just another experience of morning, a little darker, not yet in the full light. And I never forget, it was around the beginning of the year or the end of the year. I was going out to swim, and all of a sudden the whole sky went completely red, 360 degrees, the entire dome. There was sufficient cloud to capture that phenomenon, and it was also very briefly lived, as this happens at that time of the day. There's a certain angle the sun is at, and it just brightens the clouds. It's not always. You have to be out to get it. We have a fascinating story today that's in everybody's hearts. It's in general culture. It's not just a Jewish story anymore. It's not just a story told by Christians that every child knows. It's a story that all humanity shares. And that's the story of David and Goliath. What is that story? What difference has it made in the history of humanity? David and Goliath. And there's actually the Valley of Elah, where you can go and visit an area which very probably is the scene of that battle. And it has reached epic, legendary dimensions in terms of fascination, in art, but not just there, it's a whole attitude to life. And also to discovering how small we are as human beings and how big the challenges are. And the amazing thing is that the human being has the possibility of encountering Goliath. And actually, maybe we could say the necessity of encountering Goliath. That means encountering aggressively hostile challenge to my well-being, to my purpose, to my identity, to my mission, and how to deal with it. And the thing that makes all the biblical story unique and gives it its particular character in all of the other myths that are out there and legends and cultural heritage in the non-biblical world is that there's an element of faith. This is the major difference. That there's a faith in a creator who created the whole world. So he's the real giant. So he's the one that really, he's the heavy lifter. And maybe our crisis, humanly speaking, very often is more about thinking that we have to move that huge rock with our weak little arms, and we might even have fever. We might be debilitated. We might be completely weak. There, we got him flying away. Or her, as the case may be. It's a purple heron, you know. Beautiful wingspan, movement, gracefulness. When they're stationed, when they lift their neck up high, their head up high. Yeah, I see somebody walking here. I think I know who it is, but we'll see in a moment. So this leads to the development of a great culture, the culture of the David meeting the Goliath. Hello, Father Juan. Good morning. Good morning. We just started talking about David and Goliath. How are you feeling today?
In between. I feel in between. Good morning, family. It was beautiful. Now it's less beautiful.
That's the risk we took. We're on Facebook, and we normally do Facebook at sunrise, but I do Instagram when that color comes. But today we took a risk to do Facebook. They'll have to put up with it, like with the grayness right now, but that's part of it. But we found you. You can be our sunrise this morning.
Yeah, I am. For sure. I wish you a very nice day. This story of David is amazing. The power of God gives us so much hope that God can do marvelous things for us, even when it looks impossible. Let us pray for each other.
Thank you.
Keep praying for peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Father Juan. God bless you. So Father Juan brought it to the point that I'm getting to slowly, and he moved in there real fast. So this is the difference faith makes. And you know what came this morning to mind, where the whole series of expressions in our culture that kind of rest on our religious culture and our spiritual heritage, that rest on the story of David and Goliath. And let's go through a bunch of them. Actually, I was going to start this rhetorically a little different and ask you a question. Let me see if I can find this. Just bear with me. Yeah, I have it now. And this would obviously be particularly catchy for the American ear. What is the origin of "In God We Trust"? And you can approach that historically, you can approach it conceptually. The root idea that's involved here. And it's very much a David and Goliath story, isn't it? In God we trust. Just to bring in a little colour now in this grey circumstance of lack of sunrise. These bright reds and this pink. This is a poisonous tree, by the way. In God we trust. And another thing we do is say, let's put that in God's hands. The doctor has finished the chemotherapy process. A doctor who's a man of faith, a scientist who knows that he didn't create the world, he just discovered what was created by the real big giant of reality. And he says, let's put this in God's hands. Isn't that a beautiful expression? Let's put this in God's hands. It kind of puts us in our place. We have to work hard. We have to do the investigation, the research, the science, develop the chemotherapy technique, and we have to apply it. But at the end of the day, in God we trust. Let's put this in God's hands. And then we have another expression. I often talked about this. Since my childhood, it's been part of my life. And it is, God willing. So we're making a plan, going on vacation. We're planning to go, you think of it, you fill in the dots, fill in the blanks. And then you say to the children, the grandchildren, God willing, we will do this. Because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Nobody foresaw COVID coming. Most people didn't see October 7th coming. In God we trust. God willing. Let's put it in God's hands. The creator of these flowers. The creator of this mountain. The creator of these stars. We don't see them right now, but they're there. I assure you they're there. The creator of our sun that we're waiting for to rise. The creator of the oceans, of the rivers, the Mississippi, the Danube, the great rivers of Russia and China and Africa, the Nile. I learned them all when I was in grade school. At the end of grade school, we could do maps of all the countries in the world at the beginning of high school. And all their rivers and mountains and natural resources and industries. And then we have these lines from the Psalm. I don't remember which number it is, maybe you do. Unless the Lord build a house, the labor in vain who build it. So there's David going out to defend his people, and he's completely under-equipped. Under-equipped. There's a young couple starting their married life, and they're surprised by twins. And that's a tremendous blessing, but also a great challenge. And sometimes they're surprised by triplets or quadruplets. And one mom told me once that the doctor said to her, we need to do a pregnancy reduction. And she said, what does that mean? Well, if you have too many babies in the womb, we need to take out one or two. No way. God willing. In God we trust. That's not my plan. That's not my approach. Every life is sacred. No such thing as pregnancy reduction. That's a blessing. We have to help. A lot of support is needed. In God we trust. Unless the Lord build a house, the labor in vain who build it. Unless the Lord guard the city, in vain do the watchmen keep vigil. And so Peter says to Jesus, in your name I throw out the nets. It's with your power I do it. It's not my skill, my power, my amazing abilities, my incredible ingenuity, my Rolodex of contacts, my 4 doctoral degrees and titles. I've studied so much and nobody wants me anymore. Like, what's going on here? And the huge challenges like parents face with a kid that's in deep trouble. One mom wrote recently, you know, the circumstances in which my daughter is living is worse than a war in Gaza. That's dramatic, a metaphor, obviously a simile, but it's telling. And parents have to face these, and with your own strength you can't do it. In God we trust. The renewal of the prayer life that parents experience when trouble comes their way with their children, because they love their children so much they can't bear to see them suffer. They just can't stand it. They need help. My help is in the name of the Lord who made heaven and earth. This is the bottom of the Goliath thing. It's not tanks and guns and missiles and F-16s and F-20s and F-1500s and F-millions. It's in God we trust. And this requires a conversion from us all continually. More of these lovely little flowers here. A child is discovered that's going to emerge and has Down syndrome. In God we trust. And then there's that famous line in Paul's writings. Again, you'll have to help me with the quotation there. But he said, it's not about a battle between earthly forces. It's a battle of the Spirit. We're not engaged in just leveraging this big rock with a couple of levers. We're calling on God's power and God's strength and God's love, and we know He loves us. And we obviously want to align ourselves with God's plan for us, for our lives. It's also interesting that there are many studies now, I'm not an expert on them, but I'm aware of the titles, many studies showing the impact of faith in healing, all this battle with cancer, with terminal illness, and people come through amazingly with so much blessing because of their faith and because of prayer. There's something to tap into. People, I think we leave it like that for today. And I'm very happy that you joined. It worked out. We survived the early Facebook sunrise stroll and chat, and we hope also all the YouTubers enjoy it. And YouTubers keep spreading the word there. It's a very handy means to be involved. It's more private and quiet, and you can be very involved. And we love all the chit chat between the Facebookers, the commenting to each other, building community. God bless you all. See you later, alligators. There comes little by little the sun, but I'll wait a bit for the Instagram so we'll get a real sunrise, hopefully, if it comes up on time. See you later, alligators. God bless you, people.